All right, so the first lesson is the 3.1 BW modeling tools. And I think that stands for business warehouse, but it could stand for something else later on, and I could be completely wrong because we use so many words here and I forget them every year. Ha! So the objective of this exercise is to present all the tools for the SAP BW for HANA curriculum and then go through how to connect and use them. You can also use this for answering your questions in the answer sheet later on if you're having any sort of connectivity issues. Stop going up. Is it because I'm touching the thing? It's because I'm touching the thing. I really gonna have to bring my mouse here. So the scenario is that Jan Schmidt, which is a boy named Jan, is controlling specialist at Global Bikes in Germany. His manager, Hanan Cengiz, assigns him to explore the latest BW solution, SAP BW for HANA 2.0, which I think there's something newer now, but we'll just pretend that we're cutting edge. Jan's task is to create and implement a data model in the BW for HANA for Global Bike Germany and in the US, with the result that Hanan can represent their sales and costs in a faster way to the CFO, Wilhelm Ollenhauer. Jan wants to set up reporting to serve different needs. And that's really why you have a data warehouse, is to pull information, because it doesn't actually track anything real time. Like your sales is real time, your customer database is real time, your ticket system is real time, and then all of that gets exported into a data warehouse. So we're going to export that data into our data warehouse. So here's all the things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover the modeling tools, the modeling basics, and then there's the master data, which is the uploading of all of it in the data acquisition, and then we'll look at our data warehouse, and then we'll talk about hierarchies, and then slowly changing dimensions, and that's basically the first half of the class. So Eclipse is the integrated development environment that is used to interface with SAP and create all of these modules. And you can also use some other stuff through a web browser. There's a web connection, which is the Fiori links that I have in the thing at different points, and we'll go in there and make some changes to the data and add some categories and stuff so that you can see how both of them work together. So I'll zoom out a little bit so we can see all of this here. And unfortunately, usually I walk up to the thing, but since I'm going to try to stay near the microphone, we are going to be looking at our source systems, which is going to be that flat file, and then we're going to upload it into our data warehouse. We still need to create our data warehouse and then the fundamental data transfer protocols, which do things like keep dollars as dollars and euros as euros, but then if you want to see it only in dollars, it'll do a conversion in the output of the data so that you don't have to figure that out yourself in the spreadsheet. And then the real fun part is up here with the information axis, where you can create reports and format reports and do data mining and figure out answers to problems and look at the data and figure out why something happened. And we'll do a little bit more of that, especially when we get into Tableau. So this part is mainly this section right here that we're working on now. So this is general warning, a 3-digit identifier, which was the username, and then so your username, the first 3 parts are your server unit, and then the last 3 is your actual student ID in that server unit. All right, so if you start up your Eclipse, you'll get a folder or a window that looks like this, and I started it up to make sure that it would work okay, and so I have that already. And so then we need to go to our BW modeling perspective underneath Windows, and Windows perspective, open, perspective, other, and then select BW modeling, which is the last thing I did in the video that I have online for installing all of this. So let me close the welcome screen, window, perspective, open perspective, other, and then BW modeling. Close all of these extra windows. Then the new perspective opens, and if the welcome screen opens, you can close it, but then you'll see your new perspective, which is what we have. And then go to new BW project, through file, new BW project. So you could do this here too, but I like to follow the instructions. Mostly because sometimes you click on something and you're out. You're like, oh, how did I get there? All right. This will bring up our system connection screen, which we are on Picard, and that's based on the login information that was given. And we'll want it to look like this, and I'm pulling this up because I always get the UCC and the UWM wrong. So, all right. So we can also make a new system connection, but so it's given itself PCD for Picard, and it has the Picard information all set. So we can connect, and the client is 900, and I'm gonna go and look at the user information. Actually, it's super secret. Everybody starts off with the same password, so it's okay. All right, BB1025. And the dash is important, and we will see if I change the password on this. All right, then we'll show the password the old-fashioned way. So you open up your SAP logon. And we want to connect to Picard. The client is 900. And I'm going to take the next one down below just to reset the password. Okay. And then hit. Why is it not working? Let me try that. Oh, 3 bad. I'm gonna pause this. All right. I'll do this without making a mistake now. 900, it's always 900. So we'll do BB1. BB1, that's so cute, 025. 025. And then it wants you to change your password. So I fat fingered that. There, and then your stuff is all set. Okay. Yay, I am connected. Yes, I know I had one failed logon attempt. Thank you. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do this through SAP Workplace. All right. There. And then it connects. And you can set a shortcut up, and there's instructions on how to do that too. in the thing, but every time you click on this, it'll then reconnect with that username. You just have to type in your password. All right. Oh, come back here. All right. So then it connected because I picked it. If you pick a new one or you make a new one and click through it, you can do that too. So then we have this. So we're going to go down to our student information in the MU under BW repository. We're coming up to question. All right. So under MU, and it'll load all the servers, and we are BB1. And just in the off chance that somebody gets to use this on a different year, you use the one that is the beginning of your ID. I'll put that in there. Nobody will hear it, but I'll put it there. You heard me. I have proof. All right. And then we'll look at student 025. And if you double click on it, it brings you into it. What does our instructions want us to do? All right. Says, do not edit or delete any objects in the master copy info area. So these are your info areas. Do not edit or delete any objects that do not belong to you. So then it'll say insert a screenshot of your student area or info area, the folder for the semester. And it wants to know what the technical name is and what's the info area description. So that's the answer to that question. Question 1, info area, technical name and description. See, I told you the first one's easy. It gives you a false sense of security, and then you get 20 questions in the next one. All right, so are you able, or are you permitted to edit and delete objects in the MU0 info area? And so if I oh, that seems like a lot to do. Wow, so many BBs. All right, let's try that. Oh, let me go there. There isn't anything to click on yet, honestly, to see if you can do anything. But the answer is no. You're not supposed to be able to edit anything in the main repository. Let me see if I go all the way down. There we go. MUL master folder. I always get a little nervous because I do have an admin account on here. Theoretically, the student shouldn't be able to do anything. Let me see. I don't have any way to edit. There we go. Missing authorization for activity change. So, no, you can't change anything in the MU0 area. Oh, that brought me right back here. And then you're not allowed to delete objects in info areas that don't belong to you. So it's really like the screenshot of that, and then no, and then no. Those are your answers. Now we're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff for a composite provider.
What about question 4? I know it's not on that one, but it's on the one that I see. Unless I'm looking at
There's
a different one.
There's still more exercise. They're numbered in order as they show up in the PDF, and then it's all good, sir. All right. So the composite provider is the info provider that combines all the data from all the various objects into one big space using a union or an inner join or a left outer join, and then that makes it be available for analytics. And when you do joins, so sometimes it's better to do joins on data that have their they're closely related, and then allow only certain areas to have that information. So like the sales department and the marketing department would both like customer information plus the sales information and figure out the ordering information, right? And that data looks different for their needs compared to what the order tracking system will use. And so you can use the same data and make different joins and make it like little pockets so they won't see anything that they don't need to see. You won't give them too much data. Now, generally speaking, most administrators are pretty lazy and they let everybody do whatever. You can't delete the data. You can't change the data. So they're like, they can't hurt it. But then they get into areas where somebody who should not have access can now see everybody's salaries. And then that, of course, can always cause trouble. Although everybody should share their salaries, salaries are not to be hidden. It's against the law to hide salaries from people, and it's against the law to tell your tell your employees not to share your salary data. Like federal offense, at least for now. We'll see how things go. But don't ever feel bad about finding out what other people make. If it doesn't make you feel good about your job, go find one that pays you what you're worth. All right. So to create our new composite provider, we're going to go back into our area and click on New and then Composite Provider. Go back up to our area. So many students, and we are just number 25. Here we go. All right. Right click, go to New, and then Composite Provider, and it will open up windows for us to fill out. And it's important to use the same names because as you go through the steps, the names become things that we reference over and over again. All right. So, it just wants us to create one. All right. Close, do not save. Now go to the master one and click the composite provider. Okay. Okay. Exit, don't save. Fine, be that way. All right. Close all these extra windows. Then go down to MUO, composite provider, and double click it. Oop. I did double click it, but it went away. There we go. There we go. So this shows you some key figures and some characteristics of the data that's in the composite provider at the moment. So sales data composite provider, make sure I'm in the right one. Yep. And then, all right. So then I will bring this up a little bit higher for the answer to number 4. We could do that. And there's really a bunch of free characteristics here. Now, the trick is we have all of these items, and so the key figures match up to the key figures that we're going to see in one of the PDF PowerPoints. And I'm going to pull that up so you guys can see how these correlate. And that's really where the answer comes from, which is kind of annoying that they ask you in 3.1 and it'll be the first thing you see in 3.2. But I'll pull that up right now. Does not look like the other one, does it? The other one I downloaded, I think. Hold on. we're going to get to this anyway. Still, oh, there we go. Download. I know, my hard drive froze and I have a brand new hard drive in this. That's why nothing is downloaded. This used to be my main computer. So, right here, it talks about the key figures and characteristics. So, time, customer, product, and sales are all key figures. And then customer ID references all of the items in customer, sales date is their time-based system. The cost of goods manufactured is one of the main fields, one of the key figures for sales, and then product description, product category are referenced obviously as secondary characteristics, and product ID is the main. But if we go back and look at our thing here, so we have the key figures are the cost of goods, the discount that they receive, the net sales that they get, and that these, it's just too big for the space at the moment. The revenue and then the sales quantity. And then we have all of these characteristics to back up that data. So let's see. Can you open? No. Okay. So I'm going to open this back up here. So key figures and then dimensions. Within each dimension, list the characteristics. So the key figures are these right here. And you can figure out their product dimension, customer dimension, and then their characteristics, which are these little things that are not highlighted, and just list those out like this is. So that's all that one requires. But it's in 3.2, and we're in 3.1. Like, how would you know? So, so that is the end of 3.1. Pretty simple, right?